Okay, we're recording.
Okay, cool.
My camera fell
Oh,
there.
looks
Have you
good.
noticed how clean?
I was gonna say, I mean, even the floor is sparkling today.
Because I had to wash it like 3 times. It gets so sticky from
Ooh.
all of the citric acid that's always, so you always hear that like suctioning when you have because I usually wear sneakers when I'm dyeing. It's like, it's awful. So yeah,
We matched today.
and we haven't even seen each other earlier.
We decided on mauve
Mom,
today.
mom.
I
I know,
should
it's
take
like,
my sweatshirt off and then we really match. Or my cardigan
well,
off.
I know, and we're in the middle of change of seasons like everyone. I don't live like on Mars. But I hate the change of seasons because one day it's hot, the next day it's cold, and clothes are an issue. And I don't have any because we've been in whatever we've been in for a year and a half
Yeah.
where
Now
there's no heat.
you don't have air conditioning.
No.
See, we have air conditioning and we had the heat on Monday and I turned the AC on yesterday because it was just
It was hot
stifling.
yesterday. It was
Yeah,
muggy and
mhm.
hot. But when we built this house, there was the choice. We are set up for, what do you call that? Air conditioning, central air.
Yep.
In a way, the ductwork is there, which is really no big deal. It still would cost a fortune to get it in.
Mhm.
But our kids were, young. And so we chose between a pool and air conditioning. And I was all for pool because I didn't want them being, it's too hot, I want to be inside.
Yeah. No,
So,
that's definitely a thing around here too. People kind of choose between, well, if we have a pool, then
mhm,
we will be swimming and keeping our doors open. And if we don't,
I
yeah,
know. It worked. It worked for us at the ages our guys were at. Now
yeah,
I kind of wish we had it at times, but I also love all my windows open.
yeah, that is nice.
Mm.
Your yarn might dry faster on the more humid days if you had air conditioning, I guess.
Probably. I love that we're going into the season where it dries within hours. It's a game changer for me.
Oh, it has to be.
Game changer. So
Can I
yeah,
just say how jealous I am of the ladies going retreating this weekend in Amana? Our
I am
our pal
too.
Michelle, Farm Girl Loves Goats, and Lisa Smith is there. She had a little post on Instagram about being on the airplane yesterday,
Oh, I
headed.
bet.
Yeah, wouldn't that be fun to be there?
Mm. It would be amazing.
Oh,
Amazing. Hard though, coming off a pandemic to go right into a retreat. Like with that social piece, like there's an adjustment going on for me at least.
yes,
But
absolutely. You know what I was thinking the other day? I read somewhere about the CDC saying if you're fully vaccinated, you can be unmasked now. And I thought about all the people that would give me dirty looks around here if I went unmasked. Like, I feel like, no, I don't want to have people think I'm rebelling. How are
for
we going to get
us,
over that?
it's only in the outdoors that you can go maskless. If you're outdoors, like at an event,
Yes.
if you're indoors, masks are still required. I feel exactly how you feel because I will wear a mask forever if that's what's required. I have no opposition to them. So, but what I'm going to do is be aware of the people around me, like in the grocery store. Are most not wearing masks or wearing masks? And it's going to be like a weaning ourselves off, I think.
I think so too.
Mhm. Can I say this though? Because I am fully vaccinated, I'm finding the masks, I don't know why, it's just a shift in my brain, more difficult. And I'm much more claustrophobic than I've been in the past with it on. Isn't that
Interesting.
weird? Like I'm more aware of it
Mhm.
and I don't know, it's weird. Anyways, yeah.
I love just like you can roll out of bed if you need to run an errand, just stick your mask on and put your
Me too. I've gotten used to that too.
and no lipstick and
I've kind of gotten used to that too. It's kind of like I always did it before, but now I looked better doing it.
yeah, even like I'm going to Georgia's volleyball games and it's like, well, I'm just gonna sit there in a big mask anyway. Why would I bother?
I know there are so many like emotional adjustments going on with this coming out of it, just like there were going into it, right? It's like now we're settled into it and now we're coming out of it. And I'm so grateful for it all. But at the same time, there's a lot going on there.
Nobody wants to hear about COVID right now.
I know.
Let's talk about stitching. Well, let's first of all, welcome. Hi, everybody.
We are the worst.
We're on a episode 21 here. 21. We're legal to drink.
Oh, yay. I don't. So
I know. I don't really either. Okay.
But I like the option.
Yes, I like option in case we ever want to start. Oh my gosh. Well, welcome. We've got a lot of new subscribers, as we always say in the beginning of each episode. I love how we're just slowly climbing up there and getting into the groove with the floss tube community. So thanks for joining us. I'm Rachel, Treehouse Fiber Arts.
Oh yeah, I'm soon at 24.
Yeah. And
I have to say, this is exactly Chelsea and I, when we do our legacy fiber arts, this is exactly how it goes. So I might be more responsible for this than you. Sorry.
I think so, actually, because when I would do my Treehouse Knitz
You're like, bing,
shows,
bing.
I had like an intro, and it was like nobody messing me up.
I'm sorry.
But this is so much more fun.
Yeah, so I'm soon at 24.
Yep. And we're the ladies of Floss Toss. Welcome. It's the end of April 2021. Ooh, it's kind of the end of our punch needle.
I know, and I didn't get done, but I love it, and I'm gonna get right back to it. You got done.
I can share with you where I'm at. So I did get done. I haven't done anything, but isn't she cute? This is a you.
Sweet.
Yes. So you know what I did yesterday? I masked up and I went to Hobby Lobby and I pretended I was Priscilla Blaine. And I looked around for, doodads and things. And I walked up and down the aisles methodically. I don't know how she can focus because I don't know. Anyways, things were like, oh, that'll be okay. That would be all right. And then I went to the clearance kind of area in the spring shop. And I found this thing.
Oh, Rachel.
I know.
So perfect.
I know.
It's like she's in her, like, whatever you call a sheep house.
I know. It's got a little clip on it, which I could, once I, finish the thing, I could just put it in the clip, but I kind of think I might take the clip out. And just
I go both ways. Yeah, I feel like you don't want to clip right on the punch needle, right? Yeah. So we need something to clip on.
And do I center it or do I put it lower?
I like it there.
Isn't that perfect? The coloring was perfect. I couldn't believe it. Like I just saw it.
Read the number off the back because people. Okay.
Yes, I feel like Kimberly from Fat Quarter Shop and Priscilla. Let me get my readers on.
You're struggling there,
I'm
my friend.
struggling. So this was in the spring shop and it was 40% off. So I think I paid like $6 for this thing. And it's code number 5793393. Yeah. And here's the little label. It says spring shop.
It's perfect. It's like the sheep is in the barn.
I know. I'm so happy with it. So I'm going to have that.
Love it. You know why I like it in the corner? It feels like it's peeking out the door.
Well, should I put it in the corner?
Not exactly. I would give it some, but
really?
More to.
Really? Like that?
I don't know why I love that. It feels like it's like kind of peeking out.
I agree. It's so fun.
It's so fun. Now I have to go to Hobby Lobby.
Yeah, they have a ton of them, and I saw them spread out in many areas. So if you go to the spring shop and you don't see it, they have like little, you know how they have those little clusters where they put all their things together that look alike. It's in those areas, and then it was also up front by the cash register. So I know. Oh, so happy that I found that. Now, how do you finish this? So I'm going to cut like 2 inches and I think I might just tape it.
I don't know. I think you are going to want to take a marker and go around the edges though, where the white.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I know I've heard that a lot.
I think I saw Teresa Kogut do that. So, well, hopefully on the next episode, I'll have it finished and I can share with you all how I did it.
Okay, I'm going to show you mine. And then because this was a first time experience for you, I think you should talk about your experience.
Yeah, I can. And I do have a couple of.
I feel like I didn't get any more done.
Yeah, well, look how cute.
Oh.
You inspired me. I couldn't put it down, Sue.
I know.
don't know how. You got busy.
Unfortunately, I've been dyeing a lot of yarn and packaging a lot of orders. Again, fortunately. So it's not one that you pick up for 5 minutes.
I couldn't. I mean, there's no way.
Plus, it's enough of a production that you kind of have to invest like at least a half hour.
Well, this one I did in 3 sittings.
Yeah.
I couldn't put it down each time. I think I did the head first, and I did the body and the scarf, and then I worked on the outside, the border. Oh, that was fun.
You did a beautiful job.
You know what? Everybody's looks beautiful. You can be a beginner and make it look nice. This is not like quilting or.
I agree. I feel like, and the more you do it, the more wiggle room you realize you have. Like that's kind of what I was thinking about when you were doing it. Like, what were your discoveries doing it?
Yeah.
As brand new.
Well, let me tell you, the first discovery was that Teresa didn't mention that you needed black for the eyes in her kit. So I was like, okay, we're going to start with the eyes. And I went to my kit that I sent to everybody. And I'm like, there's no black in here. And I looked on the back of the kit and she didn't have it marked down maybe she just thinks everybody's got black. And there's such a little amount.
I forgot to tell you that. I was like, but then I thought, you know what? Everybody has black. I don't want to stress you out thinking about like, oh, I didn't put in black.
I know. So mea culpa. I'm sorry. I should have punched before I sent out kits. But
I also felt like you might have been able to use another one of those really, really dark colors for the eyes.
I thought so too. If you're a cross stitcher, you have a dark color floss in there too. So anyways, that was one thing right away. And then I think the key is really to understand how to use the punch and to practice a little section first to get your punches even. And then just to go for it. This is not a big investment really. So don't feel like this has got to be perfect. There is no such thing, I think, as perfection with anything on the punch needle. Just go for it. Have fun. You're painting with the fiber. And if you don't like what you did, you can just pull it out really fast.
Pull it out. Not 100 times, but
yeah.
But the thing too, I found like when I started, my eye seemed large, but I didn't want to pull it out because I knew it would look exactly the same. So then it's a matter of pushing some of those other threads really close to the eye to close it in, and like those kind of things. And the nose, the mouth, that thing, same thing.
Yeah, and mine is a little wonky, but you know what? He might be sitting there chewing on some you know. And the practicing down here on these fringes, that was only one row for me. So by the time I was doing the fringes, I was comfortable with just going up and then down one row and then cutting it. And then it's not like threading a new needle every time. You just can cut it off and then start again. So don't worry about starting and stopping in small sections, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And then, I'm trying to think, this border area, I punched one of the dark in each area, and then I went with the lighter color, but I noticed that the dark wasn't showing up so much. So I actually did 2 passes for the darks on mine. Now I think I could punch a little denser next time. I held it to the light and there are I can kind of see little areas where there's holes, but
yeah, it's weird. I think when I started, I was punching too dense, and then I realized to get some of the effects, it was better to not be that dense. And why waste all that thread? Because it doesn't need to be packed tight.
No, I was surprised how it really didn't need to be. I kept when I was punching, you can see there's little holes, little gaps you can see I'm not going to take it apart, but you can see the fabric in the back.
Yeah. Also,
I was surprised how much floss I had left.
Did you?
Oh my gosh. I didn't even touch, this is a mess, but I mean, I did not even start some, you know, we had 2 skeins of a few colors. I mean, I have all of this left over.
You could do it again.
I think I could.
And
The
what
only
if,
thing is this color, well, no, I had a lot left over. I mean, look at all this. I was shocked. She really doesn't want you to run out, so.
well, it probably depends too on if you're using what punch you're using. If you're using a medium with 3 strands as opposed to 2 strands, it gives you choices. But what a sweet, fast gift, right? Like,
oh my gosh, yes.
With that piece from Hobby Lobby, like, because I'm not into investing a ton of time on gifts at this point in my life, where that is so sweet.
That's a really good point. It is like, I bet a 1/6 of the time it would take you to cross stitch. A 1/10 of the time. I mean,
15th, depending on the size.
Yeah. One thing I also learned is the next punch needle, which I'm going to show you, I'm going to start, is going to be a punch needle where I'm using all 6 strands at once, so I do not have to separate my threads. I was listening. Can I move on from this one and talk about my next one?
I will allow it.
Oh, thank you.
I have so little to show today. I am simply sitting back and taking it all in. I love it.
I was watching Vonna Pfeiffer's Cave Tales. That's what she calls her floss too, because she's in the basement and she says she's all around cement blocks. So it's her Cave Tales. And I watched her third one, which is brand new out.
Oh, brand new?
Brand new, I think this week.
Oh, I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, and it made me realize I want to watch her first 2 now. But this third episode, she talked about a designer that she really likes to punch. And first of all, Vonna is going to be doing a free class in May on her channel. So watch for that, in punch needling.
Oh, great.
Yeah, so, and I'm sure she's going to be as thorough as she is with her finishing classes. But she talked about Michelle Palmer being a designer that she really loves. So I went to Michelle Palmer's Etsy shop and oh yeah, she's got some great stuff. Well, then I thought, well, I wonder if she's in Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine. And she is.
I was going to say the name is super familiar.
Yeah. And I loved this one when I saw it. Isn't that pretty?
So pretty.
Yeah. And so right away I was like, well, I'm going to just use floss that I have and try and match it as well as possible. So I pulled all my floss for it.
Rachel.
And I got it on my punch needle.
Oh my God.
So I'm ready to punch. This is going to be fun. I cannot wait. And I was thrilled too. I checked, will it fit on my punch frame that I got, which is the 7-9-inch Morgan frame, and it does. So
I think I'm going to have to get one of those in one of my next purchases in your shop.
I love this thing.
I know I'm not loving I used to love it. I'm not loving it.
I've got a square one like yours. It's a lap one. And I like it for the little bit I've done with the rug hooking. I learned it from a class. I haven't tried it with punch needle, but I love using this because it's just so easy to rotate on your body when you're punching. Instead of moving your punch needle, you move the.
Well, I also think the height of it, that's what I'm not loving about mine. It's just, it's small. It doesn't have a lot of height. So you're just.
Oh, yeah.
I really like it, but I'm tempted to try the hoop.
Yeah. Did I not send you a hoop? I thought you bought a hoop.
No, I didn't buy a hoop.
No, you didn't.
I love getting packages from you.
It's fun. You'll be getting a big package from me in a little bit. I'm waiting on a few more items. We'll talk about that later, but isn't that cute? I thought, oh, that will be a very fun one and I love the finishing. I think I might finish it with the pom-poms just like that.
So cute.
But go check Michelle Palmer on her Etsy shop. She has a beautiful aesthetic.
Now tell me this, are any of them kitted or are they just the designs?
Just the designs you download and then you copy it on your.
I like the idea of I am so, if I don't have to leave my house to do something, I'm so happy.
I do have a few more of these, not many. They've been flying out of my shop. I think I have 3 more of the Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine. Now I have to sneeze.
Bless you, my friend. So, you know what's interesting is mine is upstairs at my bedside table, and it's like I'm saving it. I'm saving it for a night when I can just flip through it. I breeze through it.
I almost did the bunny, but I was like, you know, I'm kind of done with Easter. And
So,
of course, I love that one.
that's my favorite. And I was like,
Yeah,
no,
mine
that's
too.
not me at all until I saw it. Like, oh, it's so sweet.
It's so sweet. The only thing is I'd have to separate the strands, and I really wanted to try Michelle Palmer's, and I love that other one equally. This issue has wonderful cross stitch in it as usual, but it's really good for punch needle too.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
Yeah. Anyways.
I love it.
So that's my next punch needle.
So we hope everyone has enjoyed their venture, and I hope you're going to venture on to different ones and more.
Yes, use the hashtag so we can see how yours is coming. It's FT PAL for Floss Toss Punch Along.
I saw Jen, Boston Jen, our friend.
She started
right along. I really haven't been on Instagram to just like look at things like that in a while, but I do need to.
Yeah, just to peruse.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. Well, should we talk about cross stitch now that we've done punch needle?
You know what's really bad is I didn't keep up really well, although I went back and I did some work on my sticker book.
Ooh, yes.
So I'm not sure what I've been working on. I mean, I know what I've been working on, but I'm not sure how much or what I showed last. I have no idea.
Yeah, it's a blur. These weeks go by fast.
They go by so fast.
Well, I've been working on, I just started my Love Abide by La Di Da.
Are you loving it?
Oh my gosh. These colors, is it showing up? I mean, hello. These colors, oh, I love this. And I'm so happy with my flax. I haven't gotten much done.
It's so fun.
I'm starting at the bottom and, but I think I'm going to love it on this flax color. This is the kit that I have in my shop. I have a few in there. So if you're interested in getting the fabric, floss, and the pattern, go check out my shop. But yeah, I'm doing it 1/2 on the 36 count flax.
I love it.
You're like almost done. Have you done any on yours?
No, I've done I mean, I've done a lot of stitching on what I've worked on, but I've had a heavy knitting couple weeks because I've had to.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Have you worked at all on your Flea Market Flowers?
I can't remember how much I had done. And then I realized like I really have to start pressing my pieces, but means then I have to get out an iron and wow, that sounds like a lot of work. So I can't remember what I had done last time. But I have this done.
You are technically there's a stitch along happening starting June 1st, but we're getting a little head start. Who can get this in the mail and not start it? I haven't done much at all, but I've been doing it in hand using the 4-inch hoop.
Amazing.
Oh my gosh, you're right. On big projects like this one, this little hoop is so nice. You know why? Because when I do it in hand, I like to have my left hand underneath pushing, and if the hoop is too big, I can't reach. This is incredible. I do love that.
And even like I can reach, but it strains my hand. With that 4-inch is like, for me, it's like not using a hoop, to be honest with you. It's like not having anything. It's just, it manages your fabric. It manages so much that I love it. I swallowed wrong.
She loves it so much, she's choking up. I mean, it's so nice. And you know what else I even did? Sometimes, I don't know what I haven't settled on a technique yet for in hand. Sometimes I just use the bottom of the hoop and I stick it underneath, and it just creates a little bit of a framework for me. I don't even need the top on.
That makes sense. So again, because you're zeroing in and you're not, that fabric management for me is super overwhelming. I don't know why, because I always used to stitch in hand. but there's something about it. I need just a little bit of tension on that fabric.
Yeah, just a little. Now you're using a smaller count fabric than I'm using. I'm using the actual called for, which is the barley. It's 25 count. It's so fun to just stitch on this big fabric.
And you're using 2 strands. See, I'm using 1.
Yep. So ours, we will have different feels to ours. I had a few people comment on the bag that I'm using for it that I made. This is my Lori Holt Stitch Card D that I carry in the shop for the kits. And I just stitched that, and then I used that as the bottom for the bag with all the Lori Holt fabric.
That bag is to die for. And when you posted that with all your beautiful, like, I was like, you need to up your Instagram game if you're playing with Rachel.
But look I'm kind of like you right now, Sue. I'm putting the ones I'm using on the floss tags, and then because I don't want to have to do them all at once.
No, and of course, now I've combined all of them for all 3 of the projects, which is ridiculous. This, I'm super proud of myself.
Look at you. That's amazing.
Look at me. So for my DMC, I think I'm going to continue on with these.
Yes.
And then keep it on a big ring, like numerically, as I finish things. That's a smart idea. Will I do it?
I think that's a great idea. I haven't figured out yet for my DMC how I'm storing it. Well, I am storing it right now in little baggies, and I keep all the number, like the hundreds in one baggie. The trip is still a pain.
Yeah, that would kill me.
I don't know. But anyway, yes. So that's our Flea Market Flowers, which is part of our Guest Room QalSalPal. Oh my gosh, look at you. You have worked on that one.
That's what I've been working on. I thought I was going to be able to finish it because it's super quick. Yeah, okay, so yeah. Quilt Room QalSalPal.
QalSalPal. We added another one.
Did we?
Natalie made me come up with the QalSalPal.
Cal, was she? He's gonna
crochet along.
It's so stunning. And then, have you been working on your big one?
Yes.
I haven't, but I got the latest.
Oh, you did?
The cat.
Oh, it's so cute.
Well, we'll talk about this after we.
You're so much farther along. I finally finished the top row.
Oh, I love it so much. Now, what is your fabric? I can't remember.
It is a really pretty 32 count XJU Designs in marbled bunny, but I love it. Oh, I love it. Now, the only thing is the white doesn't show up very well. So I changed like the angel wings up here to pink, but I didn't want to make the bumblebee pink. So I actually used 2 strands of the white.
Makes complete sense.
Yeah, and it shows up. It shows up live in person a lot better than it's showing up now.
Yeah, I'm just not going to put the white in any of the borders and the inside lines. That white, I'm not going to do.
Now, what is Laura always says to Brenda? She has a not a referral. I need a consult. So I need a consult from you. So the separating lines. Now you see these lines. I've just done every other 2, 2, and then skip 2, 2, 2, then skip 2. Now these it's how it's kind of called for in the pattern without the white. I kind of like the little dashes better than the. Can I do just dashes?
Absolutely. I think it works. I have done too much so that I wouldn't go back, and I really do enjoy it. But
you know what I love about the dashes? It looks like it's hand quilted.
I agree. I think it's perfect. I would absolutely keep it that way.
I'm going to take away these little dots, the extra.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yay, less work.
My opinion is worth that much, but yes.
Yes, it is.
Oh my gosh. I
love this. I'm so glad we decided to do this.
I am so glad, and I'm enjoying everything about it. Everything. The thing that I'm missing is because I want this done. So I'm really committed to this.
I am too.
But I hate the word but. There's something that you can.
Although.
Yes, somebody said something about but to me. Anything after but is, I'll leave it out because we're.
I love you, but.
Yeah, so I don't like that word. Although I am totally missing my sampler stitching, really, really missing it, craving it. So I do think I'm gonna have to take a little breather because I need it. Because what I'm doing now is I'm picking this up and I'm not as like enthusiastic because I've been working on it literally probably for a month. So I'm only getting a little done. Like I'm like kind of like picking at it, where I know if I put it down and work on something different for a while, I'll get re-energized and then I'll pick it up and I'll be done.
That is perfect, I
think. So that's what I think I'm going to do. And you know what else I'm missing terribly? A monochromatic piece.
I was going to say, I want to pick up my modern folk. I'm starting to like think about it during the day when I'm doing other things.
Same.
Gosh, I wish I had that on the wall. I want that one on the wall.
That, and I have held off, and I don't know if I'm going to hold off for much longer. This year's piece is just to die for. So I'm going between. So I miss that red work sampler so much. I loved, if anyone was on the fence about that piece, I will say that was the most enjoyable piece that I think I've ever stitched.
The Scandinavian Christmas?
Oh. Because it was symmetrical, so it was fast. It was so fast. So I'm going between wanting to work on last year's, getting this year's, or picking another one of his on a smaller scale and doing another red, using the same red.
Now, who was it on our latest comment mentioned, I know who it is, but I don't want to missay who it was, so I'm going to go look. But she said, Sue, maybe if you're in search of smaller samplers, you should just use some of the motifs from Jacobs, which I thought, that was Mary Ellen.
The problem is I am in search in a way, but I'm always drawn to big ones. Always.
Yeah.
I just cannot stop myself. So I'm totally missing, as much as I'm enjoying these, I'm missing the more traditional stitching that I've done in the past.
Yes. I just had to come visit it again.
All right. No,
this is going to make me want to stitch it. I have a lot to do yet. I'm like halfway done, it looks like.
I love it.
A little over halfway.
The problem with mine, and this is really bad, I'm not as in love with it as I was. And it's not the piece, it's my choices.
Oh.
I'm going to finish it though. I'm going to finish it because I do love it. I'm just not loving the actual stitching of it. Is
it floche?
It's the floche, which I'm not loving.
That's a bummer.
I know. I thought I was, and I'm not. The more I do one strand smaller, that is so gorgeous.
Darn it. Okay. Yeah. But I love this, but I'm so into our Guest Room QalSalPal as well.
I am too. I just noticed recently I'm making more mistakes. I'm not going, it's not just flowing out of my fingertips like it was.
That's so funny you mentioned that, because I made so many mistakes in this square with the honeybee. Look at, I read the wrong color and made the center of that one orange, and they're supposed to be identical. I also made the leaf coming off of this instead of up here. I'm keeping it.
Oh, I know.
I'm also one stitch off in between the flowers.
This flower right here, this flower, it could be more basic 3 times. 3 times. And that to me is speaking to my head's not really in it. My head's somewhere else.
That's true.
So I feel like it's time to just, not long, because I do not want to put it aside, because I want all of this in that room, all of it. Yeah.
Should we talk about the Guest Room QalSalPal? There's some new people who might not know what we're doing.
Okay, talk about it. And I don't know if I should do my big reveal. What do you think?
You have a reveal?
Rachel, how many times did I text you the other day?
Oh my gosh.
Should I do the reveal?
it's your reveal.
Okay, you keep talking and I'll decide.
Okay. Well, the Guest Room QalSalPal really is Sue's brainchild, so she should probably talk about it, but she was talking about how she wants to do all Lori Holt in her guest room with the Flea Market Flowers, meaning the stitches, the cross stitch pattern, the beautiful applique quilt pattern, which we are doing.
Perfect.
And you did it. You printed it out.
I did.
And I want to prove to you, I'm acquiring, this is Sue's box that's sitting in my craft room, getting filled with all the things she needs.
I don't know what I need.
Well, I'm here for you. I've got a little checklist right here on the front page, setting you up. I am so excited about that applique quilt. I'm going to insert a picture here of my little nook that I've created, all Lori Holt over there with all the materials ready, space to cut out and applique, and I'm so excited to do that.
Oh my gosh.
I do have these two of her books as well, and now she's got me going on this like Sew Your Stash series.
No, red and white.
You're into the red and white. I don't have enough red and white fabric, but I've got enough Lori Holt fabric.
I just go by the tons. I
think I'm gonna do for my next quilt, which I have to show you my progress on my other quilt. Did I not? Oh, yes. Is that it? There's a better picture of it though. Sorry, hold please.
Oh, you go.
So where is it? Flip. Oh my gosh, Sue, I am so hot right now.
You kill me.
I don't know, covering up, but I love the concept of this one because you create all those little 6-inch stars. They're all the same with different colors. And then you create 9 different stars that are in this book of the 12-inch. And then what I love about it is you really don't have to try hard to connect seams because you're using full pieces of fabric against each big one. So this to me screams beginner. And I like the idea of a dark background, and not necessarily this background, but I love the idea of a dark background with brighter fabrics. So that one caught my eye. And then, I mean, look at how pretty that is. Oh, that's so gorgeous. Are you going to reveal, Sue? Have you decided?
Okay, so here's the big reveal. So yes. I really, this is so bizarre. I do believe in things happening, letting things happen organically. Like it's really hard to do. It's something I practice a lot, like being patient and realizing like things happen if you get out of the way, or just let it flow and blah, blah, blah. I don't want to be all like, but I totally believe in it. It's how we grew our business. It's how we started our business. It's amazing. So anyways, I was like, you know what? I don't think I'm going to ever get a featherweight, because the only way I'll ever get one, and the one I want, is if someone finds it for me. And then it's going to be too late. By the time they found it and told me about it, it's going to be gone. Right?
Yeah, right.
And so I was really, really thinking you were going to find me a featherweight, because you're so
you were telling me.
I know. It's like,
find me a featherweight. Here's what I want.
I'll tell you any amount of money. I don't care. I also am not good. I'm not patient at finding things and knowing enough about them and researching. It's not my gift at all, at all. So on, what is today? Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday morning, I stitch every morning for 2 hours in bed, because I wake up at like 5:30. And I can't get out of bed sooner than 7:30 because it'll throw off Winnie's schedule. She's very scheduled in the morning. So I was stitching, and I had my phone by me because I'm always waiting for alerts from our yarn company, blah, blah, blah. So this email comes through from Hip Stitch, and I open it, which never.
And you just became a newsletter subscriber last week.
Just. Right. And I opened it, and there was one Betty Teal featherweight, completely beautifully everything done. So I'm like, well, I won't say what I was like, but Imagine, Rachel knows exactly what I said.
Was Dave sleeping in bed next to
No,
you when this all?
he gets up
Okay.
super early.
Okay.
And my heart starts racing and I'm like sweating. Talk about like, I'm like, I could throw up. Like, what a huge decision you have to make like that. Like that. And I did. And I thought, you know, I probably didn't get it, but you know, because you get cart jacked and all of that. And all day I'm like, Rachel, I don't know if I got it. I'm not sure.
My first text came in at like 7:18 a.m. or something like that. I just bought a featherweight.
I bought a featherweight. It is the color I wanted.
Perfection.
Literally, I am speechless. I was completely, and then it said something in the notes that wasn't there when I checked out about if we don't have the one you want, we'll substitute. And I had agreed to it. And I'm like, no.
They're going to send me like a big, I don't know.
No. And so I emailed them and they were so gracious. They were like, no, that applies to fabric. And I'm like, I didn't think it would apply, but you know, like you just never know.
Yeah.
So I was really nauseous and really flustered and everything. Poor Rachel, every hour, I got a featherweight. Because no one else in my life would be excited about it, right? So then I hadn't even told Dave, like, I didn't mention the amount of money that I just spent. But you know what? I work really hard. It's been really busy. And you know what? I don't feel at all bad about it. But the lovely part is when I told him, he was so excited and happy for me. He was like, good for you and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So I have the most beautiful featherweight in the world coming my way any day.
And it's like been fully like restored, fixed, cleaned. It should just start chugging right along when you plug the thing in.
I cannot wait.
Oh my gosh.
So when it is in my hands, Rachel and I are going to hopefully, I'm not going to be able to wait, Rachel.
No, just videotape it on your own. Don't wait for me.
I'm going to video, but I kind of want you present for it.
Well, you can text me and if I'm free, I'll be there. Oh my gosh.
It may come when I'm in Vermont next week, which will make it fine. I mean, but anyway, so now I am you can tell I'm beside myself. I am beside myself. My dining room is going to turn into the most beautiful quilt room.
Oh my gosh.
I'm so excited. And we can still use it as a dining room if we need it. Like we just clear off the table. But it's a beautiful old oak table. It's going to be stunning.
Oh, you could get all your stuff out there, do your piecing.
My hutch is going to have all my fabric that I'm going to keep buying. I'm so excited.
Oh, you should be.
So literally it fell in my lap. And
should I put a picture of the thing in here, or if I find it, if I can still?
Absolutely. But it literally fell in my lap because I'm not kidding you. 2 days before it really hit me, like I'm not capable of buying something like that on my own because I don't have the skills.
Lord, help me just have one fall into my lap.
That's how it worked. And I knew like I didn't want to hear like it needed this or it needed that or it needed anything because I'm not capable.
Yeah, like eBay and you get it, it's full of gunk and dust and
That's not me. I am so envious of people that are that way. That is not how my brain works at all. So it literally fell into my lap. I literally feel like God sent me the email and said, here it is.
I can't wait to see the end result. Oh, it's going to be so fun.
The hard part for me right now, though, is Rachel, I really want you to have one. I really, really, really want you to have one.
I know, but I just bought a sewing machine. I know, I really, you know what? Before I die, I will have one.
Yeah. Maybe sooner.
Yeah, I know. I'm so curious how you're going to use it and like it. And if it's, I mean, it's just so cool.
It's what I've always wanted, though. I want a basic machine that just sews. Yes. I don't need all the bells and whistles. It's a waste of money for me, although those might have been cheap.
This one's really good though. And you can take it to all your retreats because it's a featherweight.
Okay, so we need to go to the Whistle Stop Retreat House. Have you investigated that yet?
Well, I've only heard about it. That's where Pam and Steph go with their crock pot buddies.
Yes. Or to what's her name? Quiltville. Quiltville Bonnie had bought an old house, restored it for the exact same reasons.
Well, and the same thing with Primitive Gatherings. They're building that retreat center in Wisconsin too. We've got to keep our eyes. I kind of want to go to a retreat. Maybe we should make the retreat.
Okay.
But I want to go to a retreat where we do a little of everything.
Well, and since I can't even, I was relying on you to get me a machine.
Lord, pray that a retreat falls into our hands.
Everyone drop into Sue's lap. I'm really good at receiving and being aware of things that are floating around in front of me. I'm very good at that.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, I'll open that channel.
Yes.
Retreat center. Maybe we could go to Vermont.
Oh. See if there's quilt stores in Burling or wherever you go when you go up there.
Vermont has one of the biggest quilting, I just made that up, quilting events.
You know where else I want to go is Sisters, Oregon, and go see Stitch Roadie's Anna, and go to that big quilt festival where they have all the quilts outdoors in Sisters, Oregon.
I do think there's an outdoor quilt show in Vermont, though. I'm going to look that up for me and you if you want to join me.
Yes, please. Speaking of quilts.
Okay, yeah.
So I decided to do the green binding on my quilt. So I got that on there. I just have to make some, what do you call it? Binding. This is not the binding. This is the border. This is the binding. Oh. And I got my stuff. What do you call it? My batting?
This is what kind of quilters we are. I said to Rachel, you know that embroidery thing on the featherweights, like in the thread holder thingy? What is that called? So I literally Googled thread holder thingy on featherweight crochet, and it came up.
I knew it. I made up a name for you.
So we're not technical at all here.
No.
We create.
I got Hobbs Tuscany collection, the ultimate quilt batting, developed for discriminating quilters.
Oh, that's what I would have bought.
And I got a cotton wool blend because I'm about the wool. I'm Treehouse Fiber Arts, first with knitting. So I had to have a little wool. I live in Michigan too. I don't understand the purpose of these quilts that have like the little bit of cotton in them. I need warmth. So it's washable. I don't know. Breathes naturally. That's what wool does, people. If you're not familiar, wool keeps you warm, but it keeps you the right temperature. Yeah, so my next step is to find a quilter. Right? I'm going to get the binding made. Do I send that to the quilter? No, I do the binding. But I need to, if you know of anybody. We don't claim to be teachers. We claim to be influencers and enablers, and we're excited about this stuff. So we know there are people on our channel that are watching right now that are just like.
Oh, shaking their heads.
Yeah.
Like.
But remember, you were here at one point, right? We all start at this point. But now I send it to somebody, right? Like I have to mail this off.
Yeah, I would have been under the impression that they would have the batting, but if you have it, I would mail it.
Ooh.
I know nothing. Don't ever take anything I say serious.
You know what? I'm going to go to my local quilt shop and I'm going to walk in with my quilt top and just say, I'm new, help.
Who does this for me?
Yeah, because I really want it to be fun quilted. I don't want to try and quilt it on my machine. I had enough problem wrangling just to get the border on. It's too big.
Yeah, yeah.
The thought of quilt, I technically am able to quilt on my machine, but I would only quilt like a placemat or maybe a table runner, but
yeah,
I don't know. Anyway, so that's where I am. Again, this is going to be my backing. I'm so excited. I have so much of this. I don't know what I thought I had, like 2 king size quilts I was making or something, but I have a ton of this stuff.
We have to buy our backing for our farm, that one.
Yes, we do, for the
Yeah,
flea market.
the names of the
Flea Market Flowers.
Flea Market Flowers.
As you know, what else I did? I made myself another bag. I'm in the middle of putting the binding on it, but I made a little pouch with the Lori Holt leftovers that I had. This is some leftover cherry.
And tiny.
Yeah, it's a little one, which fits. I think like my stitch cards will fit inside. It's a nice size for little projects.
Or like those Brenda Gervais patterns that are printed that way.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to create, a bag for patterns of that size, you know.
Love it.
Yeah. So, I also picked up this book.
Oh.
It's called Sampler Motifs and Symbolism. And I thought, you know, this is interesting. I have this thought in my head that I would like to create my own sampler that talks about my life. And I thought, well, if I know what some of the symbols, what the meaning is, a lot of them are very religious, because in the like 16 and 1700s, it was all about religious stitching. But it's neat. It's just a dictionary, and it tells you what the symbols all mean in the.
I love it. Who is that person that we follow that is stitching her life? My, that is mind blowing.
I think her name is Rachel Samick, maybe.
I don't know.
I'm getting Rachel's mixed up maybe, but yes, she's doing those hexies. She stitches hexies of her life when her kids were born and all that. It's neat. But I thought it would just be fun to make like a regular square sampler with, I don't know. I have this book, and get that other book that's out that everybody's raving about with all the motifs in it. That'd be fun. So I picked that one up. And then I was watching the latest episode of Hands Across the Sea with our friend Nicola.
I have watched none of hers.
Oh my gosh.
They come up and I just forget, like.
This particular one, it's Harriet Goby, right? Yes, 1849. And she talks about, she was able to trace this young girl in her whole life. And she was a poor, family. Nicola gets all involved in, she got married, and she had a baby out of wedlock. She just had a really, really hard life living on I think she was part of, her family worked in the mines, and Nicola and her husband both have family that kind of went through that era. And I thought, we stitch all these glorious samplers made by wealthy girls, and I just wanted some like real life, this is how most people lived, samplers. And she just has the letters and numbers. She just has letters and numbers, and then she wrote, "Children, obey your parents in all things, for this is well pleasing unto the Lord. Be kindly affectioned one to another with brotherly love. Harriet Goby, Cardiff School, October 18th, 1849. I really just like the simplicity of it. I want to put it in a frame, the distressed frame, kind of like this, and just have it amongst all the others beautiful samplers.
I love it. Did you see the new, is it in a Little Gems? It's all wild colors.
Yes.
Joyfilled Stitcher is maybe doing a stitch along.
Oh, is she?
I think so. And I had written on, she had done something on Instagram, and I was like, I'm so tempted. The colors are wild.
Yes.
It reminds me of Charlie's sampler I made for her.
Mm-hmm.
And like being so overwhelmed by the colors and then realizing how much I loved it.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
What's the name of that one? Did you by any chance download and buy that one?
No, I didn't.
I'm going to.
Yeah, that would be a good one. I'm going to look it up. Do you think so? It was Joyfilled Sampler who posted it?
It was in a story, I think, though, so it might not show up. But maybe it will.
Oh, no. Oh, the tomfoolery. I don't think this is
Oh,
gonna
you can't see it, darn it.
yeah, I'm trying to
Oh,
there's the colors. You can kind of there we go. It's sideways, but look at
I
the
think
tomfoolery.
I think I'm going to do that one. I want to look at the stitch size, the fabric size.
Yeah, it's called the Tomfoolery Sale. I
I
guess it's called the Tomfoolery Sampler.
think it is.
Yep, it is starting May 1st, her sale. And that's just amazing. It looks like a ton of stitching. Holy moly.
Look how big it is. Because
Yeah.
like Charlie's was a lot of stitching, but it was small and it went fast.
Yeah, that looks dense, doesn't it?
Yeah, but I love it.
Mm-mm-mm.
Again, very different.
Yes, yes, very different. And it would, well, maybe Charlie should get another sampler on her wall.
Oh, she's a good tomfoolery girl. She's a little monkey crazy girl. I love her. So funny.
Just want to remind you, Mother's Day coming. I've got these, if your mother is not a stitcher and you would like her to stitch, I've got these kits in my shop right now. You can get a full kit that has everything she needs to like sit down and start stitching, the hoop, the scissors, the bag, everything. Or you can just get her the kit with the fabric, floss, and the stitch cards. You can do so much with those stitch cards. I love them, love them, love them. Well, and then if you've lasted this long on our video, I'm going to tell you that there is a 20% off for viewers of our podcast. I'm just telling you here of my floss tags. I printed a bunch of floss tags off the other day. So I have some oak leaves. I don't know if you can see those. I don't have an extra, but some oak leaves. These flowers have been very, very popular, and I do like using these flowers.
Those flowers, if I had been thinking, but again, it's DMC, are so pretty for the,
yes,
you know,
kind of what I was going for. And then I just felt like I wanted some acorns.
Oh,
so I printed just some simple acorns. These are all 20% off in my shop. I haven't decided if I'm going to do a code or if I'll just make them 20% off. Well, I'm going to do a code because I want this just mainly for our subscribers who watch. So the code I'll do is FT20. Floss Toss 20 for 20% off all the floss tags in my shop.
So generous.
Well, you know, I love printing them out. I love seeing them in the wild.
World. I agree. I totally agree.
Yep. So that's it from the shop.
I know. And I purchased the quilt one. My sister was retiring.
Yes.
And has
Stitchy
never,
stars.
yeah, like she just has never found the time to do things. And I thought, well, this is such a, like nothing huge, but I got her all the pieces, hoops. I had the scissors and an extra 5-inch hoop and forgot what else, but I think she really liked it.
Did you give it to her in person?
I did.
Okay,
I did.
good.
We were all vaccinated, although I was in my car and she was outside. It wasn't like we were, but yeah, she was so, I think she was kind of surprised and I think she kind of liked it.
Yeah. Well, good. Good.
I just did the panic of, did I push the record button?
Oh my gosh. You always do this to me, Sue.
Oh no, I worry. So yeah, so I think this weekend I'm going to pick up a sampler, one of my samplers, and work on it to give my brain a little reset and make me excited again about. I'm also super excited about knitting now again.
Yes, you've kind of gotten me wanting to knit socks. I took a pair of socks. Can I tell you? So I'm going to these volleyball matches, and because they involve several schools, they have a lot of games, and they can be like 3 to 4 hours long. And I made friends with one of the other players' moms, and she arrived, and we're sitting there chatting, and all of a sudden she pulls out her knitting.
Oh, Rachel, you needed that.
That never happens. I'm always the one that looks like. So she pulled out her knitting and I didn't bring my knitting in. I left it in the car because I was like, I don't know. I just didn't want to be.
You know what it is? I think for me, I always did it, but it attracts attention.
Yes.
And sometimes that attention can be like, I just want to sit here and knit. I don't want to, like, you want to hide, right? And
It's always the men. They come, my grandma crocheted. And I'm like, I don't even tell them it's knitting. It's not crochet. And more than just grandmas do knit.
Yes, yes.
Oh gosh, yeah. So that happened to me. And so I was like, oh my gosh. I tried to be cool. I didn't want to be like, oh, I'm the president of the Greater Grand Rapids Knitting Guild. You should join. Or, I was like, in my head, I was like, oh my gosh, I have a podcast. You should watch my, But I was so excited to see that she was knitting with DPN. She was actually making mittens, which was exciting. So that was fun. And then the last match I went to, which was a home game, one of the visiting teams moms was sitting next to me, and she had this bag that looked like a craft bag next to her purse, and I was like, what's this gonna be? She pulled out stitching. I couldn't stitch during a volleyball game because I have to look down.
There's too much stuff involved with stitching for me.
Yeah.
But when my guys were little, one of my sons played on a travel soccer team. So we were family, and travel was not what travel is today. We weren't traveling in airplanes. We were just traveling locally in the towns surrounding us. So there was this woman there who now is one of my best friends, but it was so funny. She would show up, and she was quiet, and she would show up, she'd be a little off to the side, and she'd have her rug hooking. Well, every game I had to sit next to her, because this was at the beginning, before the boys were together forever, and these boys are still friends. It's amazing. It's amazing. And I slowly, because I could tell she was quiet, and I was like, I don't want to overwhelm her, but I really need to talk to her.
Yeah. That's how I felt too.
I know. So eventually, I would sit next to her all the time so I could ask her questions, and she could tell me about rug hooking. And then she's one of the most generous people I've met in my entire life. And we've now been good friends for many, many years. But she was interested. I was a sock knitter at the time, mostly just a sock knitter. So that could keep the conversation going. And then one indoor game, she showed up with an entire rug hooking kit, including the frame, and said, I want you to have this. And I was literally blown away. And then I remember we went to another game, and I showed up and I bought her all the stuff for sock knitting, because
that's so cool.
So, oh my gosh, those connections at those games, and I did it all the time. So people, if I didn't have it, they would think whoa, what's up with Sue? There's something going on.
Yeah. Yes.
But the people that came up to me were little boys.
Really?
Little boys would come up, run up to my chair.
Yeah.
Be like, what are you doing? And
yes,
it was fun. I miss those days.
You're right. It is little boys. Yes, we've been places where there's both young girls and boys, and it is the boys who are like, what are you doing? How do you do that?
Interesting that there isn't as much anymore, but there was a great divide there, right?
Yeah.
Girls did this and boys did that. And of course now that's shifted so much, happily. But yeah, they're fascinated by it. Fascinated.
Yeah. Or you'll just catch them staring at you. They don't talk to you, but they're like, what? Yeah.
I did want to get a shirt printed. I remember reaching this point that I wanted a shirt that said, I am knitting socks. Everybody, what are you knitting? What are you knitting? Is that a scarf? It's like, no, does that look like a scarf to you?
Yeah.
But yeah. So I am obsessed with our DK sock knitting right now.
Yes, you really are pumping those out so fast.
They go so fast, a sock a day with work.
Yeah. That's, and all of a sudden well, maybe it's because I saw her knitting with DPNs. I want to use DPNs on a sock and just do one at a time. I mean, I've got a bunch of socks on my 40-inch needles, but pulling the cord and if there's something about just going round and round, and I'm not a fan of the 9-inch circulars. They're too small in my hands. So
my hands are way too big. Chelsea loves them. Double points and I've done it all like you. I've done every form and loved it while I was doing it. And I settled into double points maybe 3 or 4 years ago, and I will never go, I probably will never go back.
Ryan got me that really pretty birchwood set from Lickey of DPNs. And I there's something about wood needles and DPNs. I really like wood DPNs that are shiny wood.
Yep. So they're smooth. Yeah.
Yeah, there's something about the warmth in your hand. Oh, now I want to knit.
I
Darn
know.
it.
I am so struggling lately between knitting and stitching because I also have sweaters that I want to get finished. Oh, it's so hard to love to do everything. And
It
so in
is.
the middle of that, why not get a machine and be a quilter?
I
I will
know.
never be a quilter, never, but I'm going to pretend.
Yeah, me too. That's all I'm doing is pretending.
Pretending.
Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you on episode 22 in a couple of weeks.
A couple weeks. Bye, guys.
Bye.